Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Minty Mickey. I'm an artist and illustrator here on YouTube, and I just made this channel so I can help people, be better artists, meet other artists, and just create a really great art community where we can all just learn how to draw art better and be better artists and whatnot. So if you want to check out my stuff more, you can go ahead and click that subscribe button down below, and you can also like this video if it helps you a lot. And yeah, let's get into this video. So today I'm going to be talking about how I draw faces, and this is something that I'm very comfortable with. It is something that it's pretty much the thing that got me into drawing in the first place. I really love drawing the human body, so focusing more on the face today because that is initially what I learned drawing, and I used to actually draw pretty much only realistic faces for like a few years, so I pretty much have a lot of knowledge on this topic, so I want to just share all my knowledge with you guys. Alright guys, so the main thing that I did to get better at learning how to draw the face is looking from the inside out, right? Looking at the skull is really going to help you draw the face because in many ways you can see the skull underneath your skin if you look really closely. And, I didn't start looking at the skull until around last year, maybe the year before, And I wasn't bad at drawing the face, but it definitely helped me improve a lot more drawing the face after looking at how the skull worked. And you can even look at the muscles too. I've been starting to study the muscles as well, and it's really gonna help you with like facial expressions. Looking at the muscles, you're gonna see the way that you can raise your eyebrows, the way that you can, grin, and the way that you can frown, So studying the muscles and stuff and the skull is really going to help you make your poses not look as stiff. If we look closely right here, right, we can see that usually the bottom of the ears usually line up to the end of the nose when they are just looking straight forward. Now, if she was turned more or looking up or looking down, this would be totally different, and I will show you guys some examples of that later. And then also, it's good to look for the third eye to measure out the space between the eyes when you draw them. So, if we make a mark right here, we could fit a third eye right here, right? It helps you measure out the distance in between the eyes, but this also can change depending on who you're drawing. Like, not everybody has the perfect proportions, right? This is just like the basic proportion that like most people have, but it can always change depending on who you're drawing, and I've definitely seen that when drawing different figures. So, and one that I learned that I don't think a lot of people learned, I remember telling a lot of people at art school about this, and even the teachers, and they were just like, oh yeah, I didn't really know that one. But this is just something I learned from drawing the human face a lot, is that the pupils, usually the middle of the pupil, if straight on, usually reaches the edge of the mouth. And that's always how I would see if I was drawing the lips right, because when I first started out drawing, I always drew the lips way too small. And, after I would do that measurement all the time, I'd be like, oh, the lip's like way over here, but it needs to be over here. But that looks like it's going to be too big, right? But when I would go and draw it like that, I'd be like, oh, it actually looks better, and it looks like correct now. So that's only if it's straight on, right? This is basic proportions. This does not apply to everyone either. Some people's mouths might be smaller, they might be bigger, it also depends if they're smiling or frowning and stuff like that. And then, the last basic proportion tip I have is, make sure that you are looking at the face in a 3D manner rather than a 2D manner, because this was something I always struggled with was, I would just look at the measurements and not really like the 3D aspects of it, and I actually used to only like draw the eyes. I would forget to draw eyelids, so just make sure you're always trying to think about the human face in a 3D way. So like, as we can see, like her nose is sticking out a little bit, right? there is a 3D aspect to her nose. It's not flat, you know. Make sure you're always thinking about your art in a 3D manner rather than a 2D manner, because it's really going to help you understand how to like move around your figures once you're used to, you know, drawing them. Alright guys, so now I'm going to show you how I practice the face. And when I say practice the face, there's a lot of different ways that you can practice the face, of course. You can, you know, draw in your style. You can, you know, draw it realistically. Then you can like draw realism to more of your style. There's a lot of different ways that you can practice the face, right? So one thing I like doing a lot is going on Pinterest. I like going on Pinterest and looking at different models because they have really good, most of them have really good facial expressions, even though sometimes, you know, they're just staring blankly like this at the camera. So if you want to work on proportions and stuff, it's good to look at photos like this one. But if you want to practice more dynamic facial expressions, facial poses and whatnot, it's good to you know, find some at angles and find some, you know, looking down and looking up. One thing that I like doing, let me flip through my sketchbook, you know, I like looking at idols and trying to draw idols because, you know, I'm a fan of K-pop. So like celebrities too, you know, you can go in and like look at their facial structure and whatnot. And, you know, I have like pages dedicated to the same person, you know, so trying to get their likeness down. And, you know, when I'm drawing stuff like this, I'm not really worrying about trying to make it look exactly like the person. Just really trying to focus on getting those expressions down and whatnot. I mean, some of them trying to get their likeness down, but, you know. And, you know, practicing facial expressions and whatnot is really going to help too. And looking at the way that the muscles move up and down. So right here I was trying to draw in more of my own style, but you know, other times I'm like trying to draw more realism, and going back and forth between both of those is really going to help you get better at drawing the face, whether it be in your style now or be more realistic later, you know. And honestly, even if you draw in realism, it's always gonna be like somewhat in your style, because I feel like anytime anyone draws anything, it's in their own style, because we all look at the world in different ways. So drawing it all out in our own way is always going to be a lot different from other people, right? So for practicing the face, here's a few tips that I have. Just try not to make your character look too stiff, and you know, always aim for putting more emotion into your character, right? And so it's always good to find more pictures where the model has more of an expression in their face. I feel like we artists are trying to make whatever we're drawing on the page come to life. If you seem like it's coming to life, you know, we're trying to make it feel like it's real to our audience, right? So like making sure that you have a pose where, you know, you can tell what the figure is feeling is really going to help you get better at, you know, making the face feel more realistic, or feel like it could be more real, you know. That's what we're always aiming for. There's honestly no like easy way out of this. It's just something that you kind of just gotta work on your own. So for example, I'm kind of exaggerating this pose that this girl has that I just found on Pinterest really fast. This picture is I'm making her look a little angrier, but like drawing different emotions is really going to help you be able to do that on your own instead of like having to look at a reference to be able to do that. So, you know, in the other picture, she's kind of just like blankly looking, but I can just see like a little bit of emotion in this picture, so I'm just kind of playing off that. So I'm just kind of like tuning up the emotions that she's feeling. So she's, you know, I'm making her look more like angry, you know, like pissed off kind of vibe, you know. And, you know, I'm simplifying a lot of stuff to make it easier to draw this pose. It's gonna help make her, you know, express the thing that we want to show that she's expressing. You know, we're just trying to get the likeness down as well. So as you can see, when you're drawing different facial expressions and whatnot, the face is gonna like move in different ways. So right here, she's angry, right? So a lot of the movements in her face is going inward towards her eyebrows, as you can see, and her mouth is going down, right? But also, like, you can make her nose more flared, you know, to show that she's pissed off. I must interrupt your current program with some breaking news. Hey guys, so I didn't realize that my video stopped filming yesterday until I went to go edit my video, so I'm just gonna like talk to you guys about all this stuff. It's good to practice the head at different angles, you know? So right here, you know, I drew the face looking up, and right here it's looking down. And as you can see, like, the placement of everything is going to shift depending on when the person's looking up and when the person is looking down, right? So right here we can see that the rule I was talking about before was that the bottom of the ear would touch the bottom of the nose, right? But that doesn't apply here because the person is looking up. Usually the top of the eyes will touch the edge of the nose if you make a curved line like this, right? But if it's straight, you know, it's not really touching anything at all. So, and then if it's looking down, the ears are now above the eyes, right? So it just depends on, you know, the angle that you're drawing at. And if you are drawing in realism, the neck always touches the ear because that's the way the actual like head works. But if you are drawing it in a more like cartoony or more stylized version, like taking that away is totally fine too. And like sometimes the jaw like will be in front of it, so you won't even be able to see how they connect. And you know, this is third force view, right? And so is this. And you can always draw like poses in between 3/4 or profile. This is profile right here. I had drawn it out. It's best to draw things out from just your head to see where you are struggling with in your poses the most. So as you can see right here, you know, I drew this from my mind, and like it's a pretty good profile view, but obviously like I struggle a lot in the lip and nose area, and I sometimes struggle right here too. So drawing out something not from a reference and just from your mind is really going to help you understand what you need to work on if you don't really have anybody to help critique you or anything like that. Like, that's always a good way that you can tell. And just to review, you know, this whole video, you know, start out by understanding what's underneath the skin, what's underneath the face. Always look at, you know, the bone structure, the muscular structure, you know, and then that's how you can start to see how the face works on the outside. And it's always good to just practice realism. It's really going to help you when you try to push or pull with your style to draw the face realistically at first. And then, you know, you always want to try to put more emotion into your figures once you understand like the basic proportions and whatnot. You know, see how you can make them look angrier, see how you can make them look happier, you know, express some emotions that you want them to express. And the last thing is pretty much, you know, just drawing the face at different angles and always thinking about the figure in a 3D aspect rather than a 2D aspect, because that's really going to help you get those proportions better and get, you know, the facial features better and really like nail down all the stuff that you need in order to draw the face. If you guys want to check out more of my stuff, you can go ahead and subscribe. That would really help me boost my video to more people that it would be helpful to, and go ahead and like it if it helped you, and go ahead and comment down below, you know, what a part of the body you really want help on. I would love to, you know, teach you guys more about how to draw the body and whatnot. And I guess I'll see you guys next week. Bye!